Hey everyone, so today we are following up yesterday's video with my Rift of Chaos teams with Relics. Now, Relics are the items that drop from Rift of Chaos. They were introduced, at the beginning of 2023 or early 2023 as a game mode that increased the ability of damage output or specific enhancements to your characters. Now, this is the whole reason to run Rift of Chaos. It's a very important item that you use on your heroes to enhance their abilities or their damage, so it is necessary for you to build these teams if you want your account to progress. Now, a lot of these relics can actually kind of be overwhelming because they have a bunch of things going on, and that's what I'm hoping to break down for you here today. So, without further ado, let's start talking about these things and see what you should be looking for, okay? So the first thing that you want to be looking for or notice is there are 3 individual relics. You have crests, tomes, and grails, and you get them from each specific Rift of Chaos boss. And that's actually something that I should mention here real quick, because I did have someone ask that question. So in the Earth Titan, he only drops crests, okay? In the Water Titan, he only drops tomes. And then in the Fire Titan, he only drops grails. In Rift of Chaos, once you reach stage 12 of all of these bosses, and you beat stage 12, Rift of Chaos opens up, which is what we talked about in yesterday's video. If you haven't seen it, you should go watch it. Where whenever you beat this stage, you will get a random drop of either a crest, tome, or a grail. Somebody asked, why wouldn't you just do stage 12, of these individual bosses for the item you're looking for? So I'll say that if you're looking for a specific crest or a tome for a unique hero or a grail, yeah, maybe it makes sense to do stage 12 because you're speeding up the chances of you doing that. The problem is these stages have a much higher rate of dropping these elite relics, which have less substats on them. That isn't good. The higher the rarity of the relic, the more substats that are going to be available on that relic piece. And in Rift of Chaos, your chance of dropping legendary or epic relics are much higher than the elite relics, which are of a much higher rate in stage 12 of the individual stages, okay? So I did want to mention that. Okay, back to the relics. So each relic has the ability to have a certain set of main stats on them. So when we're looking at these crests, which again come from the Earth boss, they can have flat attack, they can have attack percentage, right? Or they can also have crit damage. Now, these relics are specifically important for damage-dealing heroes. They're not limited to them, though, okay? It's just this is going to be one of the more important pieces for your damage-dealing heroes when it comes to the main stat of the piece. When it comes to the tome, which can be health percentage, it can be flat defense, it can be flat health as well, and then it can be defense percentage. If we find a piece here, defense percentage. So 4 things there. Now, the tomes are usually a nicer piece when it comes to the main stat for tanks or support units because they care more about health percentage and defense percentage. But when it comes to the secondary stats, these are still really important for damage-dealing heroes. And then your grails, which you get from the fire boss, can have a main stat of any of this. So it can have flat attack, attack percentage, defense percentage, health percentage, crit damage, focus, or resistance. Because they have the ability to be any main stat, you will never keep a flat attack, a flat defense, or a flat health piece. You just should never do it because you can get the same exact substats on your Grail if it's flat attack versus attack percentage, and you will always want the attack percentage in that case, right? So the Grail is kind of your flex piece when it comes to your main stat. On damage dealers, you're going to be looking for attack percentage or crit damage. On your tanks, you're going to be looking for defense percentage, health percentage, and then on your support heroes, you might even be looking for focus or resistance. So the main stats of these pieces, I think, are very straightforward. When it comes to the substats, though, I think that's what some people need help on. So that's what the main focus of today's video is going to be. So the first thing that you're going to be looking for on all of these pieces when it comes to substats that are good anywhere in the game, and when I say anywhere, I mean anywhere. I mean PvP, I mean dungeons, I mean guild related content, as well as rifts. The two main bonuses that are good anywhere from a substat perspective are elemental bonuses, where it says increases damage dealt versus X element, whether it's wood, fire, water, light, or dark, and then elemental resistance, which is damage received from those elements. This is good anywhere. These are the best universal substats that you can get anywhere, that can be used anywhere, okay? These two are absolutely fantastic. And then also, very, very good and good anywhere are these ability bonuses. Okay, so increases basic ability crit damage, special ability, and ultimate ability crit damage. These are going to be universally good on your damage dealers. It's going to be good in dungeons, Rift of Chaos, PvP. One thing to mention is these substats might not be the best in class option for specific content, right? It might not be your best in class option for Rift of Chaos or Guild versus Environment or Guild versus Guild, but they will never be bad for damage dealers. They won't ever be irrelevant. Same goes for these, basic ability, special ability, and ultimate healing effects. These will always be universally good for any hero that has healing abilities. Whether it's Jocasta, whether it's Blackhorn, whether it's Flarence, these will always be good if it applies to their skill kit, right? So Flarence doesn't have a heal on her basic ability, so this is not a good substat to look for on Flarence. But her special and ultimate abilities, she has healing on those, so those will be good. That's what you want to be looking for on the abilities. And then also, same thing goes for focus. This can be used anywhere in dungeons, Rift, PvP. So these are universally good substats, even if they are not the best in class substat for a specific type of content. So going back to these elemental bonuses, okay? Elemental bonuses and then elemental resistance. Something that I want to bring up and mention is these substats are only available on crests and tomes. They are not available on the grails from the fire boss, okay? So both the resistance and both the bonus only available on tomes and crests, okay? This is where flat defense and flat health will make sense to keep, okay? So let's say you have a relic that has increased damage dealt to somebody, and you have a damage dealing hero. I don't know why it takes this stuff off after I try and filter. Okay, so this is a flat defense tome. But if you look at the substats here, this has everything you want for a damage dealer. This damage dealer will deal an additional 4% damage to dark heroes, 2% damage to water heroes, 5% damage to wood heroes, and 5% damage to fire heroes. And on top of that, the damage received from fire heroes is even at 2.2. This is an amazing relic for a damage dealing hero that doesn't really care about its health or defense. Now, if this was on a defense percentage or a health percentage relic, even better, because you get additional, bonus from that. But you don't truly care about a damage dealer's defense or health unless it scales off of it. There are some instances where it could be bad. But these secondary stats for a damage dealer like Balberith, this is amazing. Okay? So those are the type of substats that you want to be looking for on flat defense or flat health tomes when it comes to your damage dealers. Damage against, right? Then on the opposite end, what you're going to be looking for crests whenever you're looking at flat attack items is you're going to be looking for the same thing. You're going to be looking for damage received. Same thing with crit damage. So here, this is flat attack. This is a flat attack relic that has damage received from wood heroes. So this isn't a very good relic, which is why it hasn't been upgraded. But let's say this relic was similar to the tome we just looked at, right? Where it had damage received from wood heroes, light heroes, fire heroes. This would be an amazing relic, again, for a hero that doesn't really need damage, similar to Ackerley, right? Ackerley just needs to be there to survive and doesn't actually need to deal damage. You just want him to receive as little damage as possible so he has the ability to keep putting poison stacks on people. He doesn't need to deal raw damage from his actual skill kit. That's where the substats for flat stat relics are going to be really, really good. So do not sleep on flat stat crests or flat stat tomes. Okay, next we're going to be talking about substats that are good anywhere in PvP. What those are, and this should be, pretty straightforward, is any of these substats that say increase health, attack, or defense in PvP mode are going to be amazing for the necessary hero. So if you have a tank hero and you want him to be even tankier in PvP, then increase health in PvP mode is going to be an amazing substat, and it'll never be bad. It'll never be bad for PvP specific heroes. Same thing with attack and defense. Now, something that we should mention about these substats when it comes to environmental bonuses, okay? Environmental bonuses for PvP can only be found on tomes and grails, so you can't find them on crests. So all of your PvP related substats with just raw stat, that's HP, attack, or defense percentage, is just going to be tomes and grails. So don't be looking for them on the crests, okay? Now, reversely, for any guild related content, right, where you increase your attack in guild, health, or defense, these can actually only be found on crests and tomes. So on the opposite end, for any of your guild-related items, so anything like guild boss, guild versus environment, you have specific substats for those items, but those can only be found in crests and grails, so you don't have them on tomes. Okay, so those are the substats that are good anywhere, right? It may be specific. They may be generally good anywhere, doesn't matter the content, or they may be good anywhere in PvP or good anywhere in guild-related content, all right? The substats that are bad anywhere, they stink, okay, are these stat bonuses. If it says deals defense-based bonus damage, speed, health, these are just worthless. Don't even worry about what the calculation is. It's bad, okay? If you have it as a substat on a speed-based damage dealer or whatever, great. But you should never prioritize that over the other things that we'll be talking about or have already talked about in regards to being good everywhere, okay? So stat bonuses, really bad. And then the other thing that is bad is this increased crit damage based on target's current health or increase crit damage based on target's lost health. These won't be bad in specific areas per se, like it'll be an okay adder, but they are completely outclassed by other substats. So I would, go to say that this is a basically bad anywhere unless you have one hero that is only good in Rift and they have one specific use. It'll be that'll be the only time to look for this. So I will just categorize it as bad, okay? The other thing is this health gain from lifesteal? Absolute garbage, okay? There are plenty of heroes that have lifesteal in the game, but most of their mechanics already give them full health heal. So this is just bad. Ignore this one. And then health restored upon revival. This isn't good either. It's really only useful on heroes that are going to be paired with like Mathasia or Hazel. So I'm not really sure what the thought process was here, okay? All right, so moving on, we're going to be talking about situationally good substats, but only for PvP. So those are the low health bonuses. If you are wondering, where these come into play, it's mainly for PvP. Okay, so anytime that you lose health, you will increase a base stat based on whatever this is saying here, whether it's speed, defense, or attack. Okay, so the speed base increases speed based lost on health. This is pretty cool. So right here, see, it says increases speed by up to 6 based on lost health. We don't know the ratio, like if they lose 10% of their health, does it increase the speed by 1 or 3? You don't know. But it does give you the ability to actually cut in on some of, the fastest heroes in the game, right? So heroes that are going to be looking for speed based on health are, speed heroes that want to cut in. Heroes like Jocasta. Jocasta has this amazing ability that allows her, to grant invincible to your entire team. This can really put a nick in your opponent's plan to come in and nuke. So if he tries and deals with the Jocasta beforehand, Jocasta has the ability to jump in front of people and then grant her invincible. And then the other heroes that are looking for something like this are heroes that if they go, they basically win, right? Heroes like Bocce. Bocce has an amazing ability with Roller Bomb where he's ignoring defense, and if he kills somebody, he does it again. The problem with Bocce is he's a little bit too slow. So he's going to be targeted before he gets a chance to go. So if he is attacked and he loses some health, there's the possibility that he could increase his speed enough to cut in front of someone before he dies and then use his attack. So that kind of substat is going to be good on those heroes for PvP. So other items based on lost health. So the next one that we're looking at is right here. Low health bonus. So increases defense based on lost health. This is going to be great for any of your tanks. Any tanks in the game that you're using for PvP, your Vengeful Hassles, your Shark Solandres, your Badmars, your Ataras, things like that. Fantastic. It also is really good on defense scaling damage dealers. People like Nero, people like Royce. This is going to be a great substat for any of the relics that you put on heroes like that. And then increase attack based on lost health. These are really going to be great for heroes that, again, are targeted first, similar to the speed with Bocce. So if they're targeting this hero because they get some kind of benefit if other people in your team die, which is what Zoltan gets, this is absolutely fantastic. You have heroes like Adeline. Adeline tends to be targeted first because people want her to flip into her second form so they can actually kill her. This is where these secondary stats based on their lost health are going to be really good. On top of that, heroes that counterattack also do very good against this. You know, heroes like Awaken or Zoltan or Adeline, you know, it's the same thing. They're being targeted, so people are trying to chip down their health. And if you have this substat on your relic, it's just going to increase the damage that those heroes are doing on their counterattacks. So these are really good substats, but they are going to be situational and usually just for PvP. So other situationally good substats in PvP are the increased damage based on current health and increased damage based on target's lost health. So, like I was saying earlier, this increased crit damage is generally bad, is because most of the time it's going to be either outclassed by this increased damage based on a lost health or target's health, or on just basic ability crit damage and ultimate crit damage, right? This is a flat crit damage bonus, and this is increased just raw damage. This is usually going to be better than the increased crit damage based on something. I just wanted to throw that in there. So for PvP, situationally good, increased damage based on target's current health. This is going to be really good for fast snipers, right? Your Fire Melisas, your Guan Yus. This is where you want this substat in your relics, because they are generally going first and they're attacking heroes that are at max health. So if you can increase your damage just based on a target's current health, this is going to be great. This is also good for your counterattackers again, you know, your Afroines, your Shark Soul Andres, your Zoltans, because they are the ones that are usually going to be attacked first. They tend to be tanks, so they're not going yet. They're usually trying to withstand some damage before they get to go. So they're going to be counterattacking against enemies that are almost likely at full health. So then on the flip side, increasing damage based on the target's lost health. This is going to be really good for double hitters. Okay, so you have heroes like Guan Yu or SSA. SSA will counterattack if he's hit with a negative effect. So he's already going to do a little bit of damage to everybody, and then his damage will be scaling off of their lost health whenever he goes in and tries to finish people off, and then that also triggers some kind of bonus attack. So that's where this increased damage based on target's lost health is going to be really good in PvP. Also, another nice application for this is to slap this substat on anybody that will proc off of the new gear set from Dragon, right? So let's say you have a hero in your PvP team, like a Shane, who's wearing Resonance set. Whenever Shane attacks, he has a 50% chance to bring in a hero with the highest attack. So they're already going to have a little bit of damage on them, whether it be from the Shane or somebody like Karma, who I like to use in Resonance set. So Karma will do a little bit of damage herself, and then she'll bring in somebody with the highest attack to come in and finish that hero off. So if they have that substat of increased damage taken based on lost health, it's for sure going to finish that hero off. So I do like that application as well for that substat. And then last but not least, we're going to be talking about best in class substats for Rift of Chaos specifically. Okay, so for the Earth Rift, one of the best substats that you can get is this increased attack on counterattacks. This is one of the more applicable team compositions where you use heroes like Radiant Pixie or Rosalie or Gavin or even Flaming Mila if you have her to do damage on the Earth boss once he does his attacks, and you counterattack because with his mechanic he converts all of his defense into attack. So if you're counterattacking, you're hitting him with 0 defense. So if you have the ability to increase the attack of your damage dealers on those counterattacks, it's just maximizing your damage. This is a best-in-class substat for the Earth Rift. Conversely, you also have increased damage based on target's current health and lost health. You want those counterattacks to still do a lot of damage, even if if it's the first counterattack that you're doing, in round 1, 2, or 3, or if you're trying to finish him off in the later stages, with rounds 11 through 15. So these are also very good against that boss as well. I will say that the increased damage based on current health is probably a little bit better because Zitlin is very good in the Earth boss. So you have the ability to maximize the damage from his curses. So those are the 3 substats that I think are best in class for the Earth Rift. Now, from the Water Rift perspective, increased attack on bonus attacks is going to be really good in there because you have heroes like Hyunwoo. So Hyunwoo is one of the main damage dealers for the water boss. Now, this is if you don't have Ackerly. But if you don't have Ackerly and you're using, a Hyunwoo team for your damage, he grants himself bonus attacks whenever he's hit with an AoE. So all of his attacks, whenever he's going in and doing damage, once he gains 4 rage, he does a bonus attack with his ultimate ability. This allows him to do maximum damage. Same thing goes for Elise, who is another really good damage dealer for this. She does bonus attacks. And especially whenever she has A5, if Elise is A5, she launches a bonus attack with her Year Out, which does damage based on the target's max health, as well as 150% damage. So the bonus attack is definitely one of the best-in-class substats for the water boss, okay? Also, the same thing goes for the water boss as we talked about with the Earth boss. The damage based on target's current health and lost health is still really important. You want to be able to kill the boss or deal as much damage as possible on the boss, whether his health is full or towards the end. Obviously, none of these substats really actually matter if you have Ackerly. You just need to survive long enough for the poisons to do their job. And then for the Fire Rift, you have 2 substats that you're really looking for. One is that increase attack on bonus attacks. The reason for this is you have your main damage dealer, which is Bocce. And Bocce's Roller Bomb, people don't realize, is actually a bonus attack. So Bocce's bonus attack is the attack that's ignoring defense. 100%. So if he's ascended, deals 80% damage while ignoring 100% of defense. It says right here, if the target is the enemy with the highest health, it launches a bonus attack. So this is a premium substat for Bocce when it comes to Fire Rift. He will just be doing so much damage from his Roller Bomb because of 2 things. One, that's a bonus attack, and on top of that, he's usually paired with Savannah, where he steals her attack too. So if you have his attack and her attack, and you're scaling that attack based on bonus attacks, I hope you guys see, the potential of that secondary stat on those relics. And then the last one is increases damage based on the target's lost health. The Fire Boss starts at 50% health, so you want the increased damage based on his lost health. The current health will do absolutely nothing for you. So those are the 2 things that you're definitely looking for. So that's all I have, guys. I will let you know that I made a Word document. So I made a Word document based on everything I just went over here, Relics 101. I will upload this on my Google Drive, and I'll share the link to it in the description below. So you guys, if you want a, just a refresher or a document that you can reference back to based on what my opinion is on these good substats, you can have access to that. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. I hope it helps you progress in your account, no matter where you're trying to specialize right now. And yeah, like I said, I hope the video was enjoyable as well. So that's all I have for you today, and I'll catch you on the next one. See ya.